Hello, hello. Let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me, and everything. Just making sure that everything is working. Uh, and please don't mind the mess that I am. But hello, hello. Hope you're ready to talk about of blood and fire. Hello. Hello. Let me just prepare the Google form that I will check if anyone has entered anything. And I think that we got one. Yes, one. But who are you? And please feel free to share your overall thoughts about this book. So, Of Blood and Fire by Ryan Cahill. I'm still not sure if you say Cahill or if you say it differently. Um, is like an adult fantasy that I was really, 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 really excited to get to because it was really hyped. And a lot of people that I know read it and were like, "Oh, it's freaking good! This is a 5 stars, etc., etc." So, of course, it made the list. And I'm curious to see what your thoughts were on that book. What were your expectations? And what did you get? Were you satisfied? Yes, no? Um, but yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. Hello, how are you? Feels so weird to be like live now. Um, I really look like a mess, but we don't care. But yeah, so as I was saying, welcome to your group. Oh, thank you. Um, but but it needs to be like I'm still not sure if my dad's gonna go downstairs or not, so I'm still figuring that out. But I would love to have like the books in the background, for all the live show because books. Also, don't mind, I hurt myself so badly this week, but also I would like it downstairs so when I have the fireplace working or everything so you can see Mooney and everything. But I still need to figure out. But also the books need to be rearranged. Please, it's not by alphabetical order or anything. I just put the books on the shelves. So that will be like taken care of. I thought it was going to be extremely slow and dense. To be fair, I expected it to be way denser than it actually was. I don't think I was expecting anything regarding the pacing of the book, but my own opinion was that it was a book that was going like on the slower end, but still it felt like every single chapter something happened. So at the same time it felt slow, probably because of the narrating. um, but then it felt fast because there was always something happening. So I still feel like I don't know about the pacing, but yeah. Hello. Oh, haven't read it. That's fine. That's fine. You can hear our overall thoughts regarding it, and then when we get into spoilers, maybe don't stay. You can stay, of course. But let's move without bruises. Yeah, you don't even. It's like everywhere. It's a nightmare. It's okay. It's okay, Amni. It's okay. It will go away eventually. Um, I gave it 4 stars. It was like a classic fantasy plot wise, but the writing was so addicting. Although you could tell he was just beginning to write. Yes, it felt so the thing is that I might not have read it in the best mindset again because I was very distracted with the move. I had a lot of things happening and everything. Um, but I did listen intensely to the audiobook. I really enjoyed the audiobook. But yes, it gave me some very classic fantasy vibe with very. I can hear some noise. I don't know where it's coming from. never mind. Very regular plots and twists, and it kind of maybe I'm the only one on that. I don't think so, but like Colin, you know, our main character Colin, I keep calling him Corbin, like in Malice, because somehow it felt like similar to Malice, so the fifth one, the Fallen series by John Gwynn. But at the same time, it also felt like a little bit of arrogant. Um, so yeah, that's the vibe I got from the book. But I did enjoy it. I don't know how long the chapters are, like pages wise, because I actually listened to the audiobook. But I felt like it was short enough to keep me engaged, to keep me wanting to turn, to start a new chapter, etc. Even though I feel like maybe that's the audiobook though. Every time we finished a chapter, I felt like it was very abrupt. Maybe because it was like, oh, and she went back to the room, and then done, and then we went to the chapter after. So I was very like engaged. I was listening to what was happening because there was always something happening. And then at the end, it was like, oh, chapter number 22. And I was just like, wait, where is the, like how you read each chapter and it goes like this or whatever. I felt like it was like this and then like this. Like this. I might be the only one. But yeah. You said I have not read the book, I'm afraid. No worries, no worries. You can still be here to hang out a little bit with us. Hope you're good. And your new setup that will be rearranged. A new shelf's gonna arrive here. And I'm still not sure if I love the desk here. So I'm still not sure if I'm gonna actually move it downstairs now or maybe later. Eventually. We shall see. It was super addicting, but ended up as a 3 stars. So I did not enter it in the Corbell system, but I believe it will be a 3 stars for me as well, like more of a 3.5, something like that. So 3 stars. Currently only reading for real fun, slow, and I'm loving the setup. Oh. Thank you. You're all loving it, but it's ugly as hell. Like the books are just on the shelves. You don't even see the candles because there is no candles. There is no decoration but the plants. But thank you. I'm really enjoying the natural light that comes from the window here. So I'm happy about that. And my desk is plain. You have the computer, and that's it. Very arrogant, reminiscent. Yes, absolutely. It gave me that arrogant vibe. Although, to be also fair regarding dragons, it's not spoilers, whatever. I don't think so. But I expected. I don't know why. Probably because of the hype. Like so many dragons, so many dragon fights from the very first page. No, that's not what. No. I understand that book two is even more interesting than the first book, but I really struggle with the prequel novella, the full. Yeah, I have not read the prequel, but I will do it before getting to the sequel because even though it's a 3 stars for me, which is still pretty good, I still want to continue the series because I feel like even though it felt like not particularly new, like it felt like a classic fantasy with very common tropes. I feel like the author still managed to handle well relationships between the characters, and even when some characters, like Colin, whatever, were making like really bad decisions or decisions that were just like screaming at them not to do, um, it kind of made sense to have them make some mistakes or what I would consider mistakes. So I feel like the core of the book was also like maybe like a little bit the fact that everything like a lot of things happened, but also the relationship and the characters that were multi-dimensional, whatever. They didn't feel like multi-layered. They felt like multi-layered, etc., etc., which I really enjoyed. I feel like it was very male predominant. Um, because if you compare it to other books, you still have like, I feel like that's why it feels also like a classic old fantasy, blah blah blah, because it's male predominant, I would say. But even when you think about it, Malice is male, but you still have more female, important female characters, I would say. But when you think about it, it's kind of similar to Malice as well, because you have a main character, Colin, and you have his very protective sister. You have a huge wolf companion animal. you, you know what I mean? Oh my god, I don't make any sense. But yeah, so yeah. I love this book, but read it months ago, and I'm very forgetful. I give it 4.5 stars. I think that is amazing. That is amazing. I did not. Tufty struggled with it. So I'm glad you loved it. It was a little bit abrupt, but I could see when the chapter was ending. So I was see. Okay, I'm not the only one. Maybe that's also because I was actually listening to it, and for once I did listen to normal speed because as I was very busy, I was like, the slower it goes, the best. Like the more I'm gonna take in all the informations. Um, so yeah, and I just realized I don't have, I mean, not that you care, but like eyelashes, extensions, they all fell. That's why you also look very tired. Never mind. After watching your channel for a few years, it's quite an event to get a new background layout. Much excited for your new arrangement. Thank you. I hope it's gonna be good. I still like, if you, what do you think? Do you think I should get like the desktop and everything downstairs, or should I keep it here? I love to separate like work and hangout, but maybe I should bring it downstairs so I can be downstairs with the dogs when I'm busy here. But I could see the backyard from here. I don't know. Still hoping for an eventual host warming live. I will do it, but not now because I'm. To be completely honest, again, I have not slept here once, so, and I will not do it tonight either. Um, so yeah, I need to go back. And tomorrow I get the rest of my couch, 3 packages. And on Thursday, I believe, I get, I mean, that's not the outside thingies, for the backyard or whatever. So soon, soon, soon. I swear. Probably not the weekend coming, but the weekend after, or the weekend after, like end of the month, beginning of August. I didn't even realize it was going to be a dragon book. No? Oh, oh. Well, maybe it's just because people talked about it. I thought it was kind of obvious because when you, I mean, again, it's just obvious to me, so it doesn't mean it's obvious to everyone. But because it's all fantasy, because there is an egg on the cover, I just figured. But yeah, yeah. In the new book, my dog is actually gonna get a little role, so I'm biased. Wait? What do you mean? Because you're part of the Discord and everything? That is freaking awesome. That is freaking awesome. I love it. I think it makes more sense to separate work and life physically. Yes, that's what I think. So, and I do love that then downstairs I can have plants and other things. I just wanted to, yeah, I think I'm gonna keep it. Like, I'm gonna try to, yeah. So I will need just to see how I can rearrange things maybe to have more space because you all noticed that I was a hoarder of many things. So I expected that to go downstairs, but I could have like a nice little thingy downstairs as well, on which I could put plants and candles and then all the paperwork and everything. Yeah, well figured. See, I somehow thought it was a water drop on the cover. Oh, could be. Could be. Nice. Good idea. Nice. Wait, and the end of the month, the Cambria time sounds like perfect time to me. Maybe, maybe. I will see. I don't want to take over. It's Cambriathon. It's not like um, housewarming thing, so I don't want to take over. But we shall see. We shall see. But I think that okay, that shall be the end of that because we're talking about the book. Um, I think that this week is going to be the end of me making this place cozy and prepared and everything. And from next week, I mean, probably end of this week, I will be actually living here. Um, so then I will organize that. But yeah, and also I go back to work next week. But yeah, sorry. Yes, he had a giveaway for getting a role in his book, and I'm so happy my dog will be in there. However, mine or it will be, I have no idea yet, but I'm beyond excited. Oh, that is amazing. That is hella cool. I love that. I love that he did that. I love that he did that. Um, is there anything else you would like to share for the spoiler free part of it? I'm looking at my notes. Um, yeah, I said that I felt like it was quite masculine. Um, also, like like I like the characters, but also like there was some kind of test at the beginning, which kind of reminded me also of what is the other book that has like some kind of like um not trial, but like something you need to go through in order to come back as a man. I almost want to say Master of Sorrows. Yes, there is something like that, Master of Sorrows, but that's like the school thing. But yeah, again, it felt like pretty common. Um, mm, but yeah, still like pretty addicted to the audiobook. Uh, I compared it to Malice and to Aragon. Um, and also I felt like compared to other classic, um, it felt way faster and less descriptive, if that makes sense. Even though, like in this book, like the description really helped me visualize things. I don't visualize, but like I could really see like the tunnels, the underground. I could really see like the market, the festivals, and everything. I felt like everything was so vivid. Um, does that was I the only one who really felt like that? And also, even though I knew about like the dragons kind of thing, I did not expect about all different races and creatures in that book. Again, it added to the a little bit of like, of course, that's not a comparison to it because that's a classic, but Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, and everything, like the fact that it had so many like different beings reminded me of that as well. Also because like the Hobbit, the knowing about like kind of knowing about the others, but who have never seen them, and then here you had that as well, being like, oh, we heard about him, but we thought it was like just a legend or just like a story or just like happened like 10,000 years ago, but not now anymore. But yeah, yeah, Master of Sorrows. I think that's also a book that popped up in my mind. I will eventually. I will eventually. Um, I still wanna see where it goes. I'm intrigued. I'm kind of attached to the characters as well, and I love the ending. I mean, the ending was kind of like also, I was shocked when I listened to the audiobook because I had like 1 hour left of the audiobook or something. And then, so the ending happened, and then it was like, oh, thank you for listening to. And I was just like, wait, what? I have 1 hour left. And then it was like, oh, but you can listen to the beginning of the next book, whatever. I was just like, no, I was not ready to actually call it that. Like, I that last chapter was not the last chapter in my mind because I was not ready for it to finish. But yeah, planning to. I'm open to reading the sequel, though it's not a priority. Yeah, exactly. It was easy to visualize, I feel, because it is very much using classic fantasy elements that we're all familiar with through a lot of movie and shows. Yeah, yeah, true. Movies and shows really helped. Uh, yeah, it kind of like I feel like you can see that the author is actually a fan of fantasy, classic fantasy, that he has read so many things. So he took everything that works in or worked in old fantasy, classic fantasies, and just added like his touch to it and a little bit of modernity with maybe like the pacing, making it less about walking and more about like going through shit. You know what I mean? Especially with like Colin and his two best friends at the beginning. Was it two best friends, etc., etc.? So yeah, I still have to read Master of Sorrows. It's one of the best. Honestly, like as much as Cleo hypes it. No, really, like Cleo is right on that one and was right on that one. It's a really good book. Absolutely. I still need to read the sequel though. He said multiple times John Gwen is one of his big examples. Yes, you can feel it. You can absolutely feel it. And I can absolutely imagine them being friends with each other. Um, but yeah. Wait, no walking and describing the history of every blade of grass. We no, no, no. That's the thing. I think that's why this book actually worked and was hyped because it has everything that classic fantasy has to offer, and so many of us do like it, but it took away or it deleted that very long, slow pacing, lots of walking, and lots of um, intro thingy. What's the word again? Introspection or whatever. Um, so because it's still like 500 pages, but I feel like it never stopped. It never stopped. So yeah, that's a nice way to describe it. It's like Tolkien was an editor. Yeah, even though I think that the author Ryan Cahill is actually the only one who did work on that book. He wrote it and edited it, right? Because at the beginning it was self-published, if I'm right, and then Broken Binding did like special editions of that book and everything. Um, but I think the author did everything by themselves at the beginning. So yeah, still looking at my notes. Um, yeah, the thing is that like most of the time I was not really surprised by things because, as I said, it's not like I'm not gonna say it's copying other things. It's just very similar and some tropes. You can only have that many tropes and that many handings to tropes, so it makes absolutely sense. I still very much enjoyed myself reading it. So yeah, but that's really true though. I would really say it's like um true. Okay, I think like we could go into a little bit of spoilers if anything needs to be added to it, or if there is something specific you would like to talk about. Um, I'm just looking my notes, but we can go into like spoilers. Let me put a banner. So everyone, if you have not read the book and you don't want to hear about spoilers, we're gonna start talking about spoilers in about like 20 seconds. Let me just put like the banner. But if you were here and you stay, well, you can stay. But if you want to go, thank you so much for hanging out with us till now. But now we're gonna get into spoilers. Well, I'll go to do something on Twitter. See you later. See ya! The issue is that this book never made me think, so I have nothing to discuss. That's the thing. That's the thing. But maybe Larissa has. But that's the thing. That's why, like, I took notes of many things, um, the comparison. Like, I love the way he depicted like all the characters, how he made them, turned them alive, how the relationship work, how they were thinking, etc. Because I felt like it was very, like, you could tell each character from each other. Um, like, I also wrote um that you had like moments of peace, moment of like I was really scared, and tensions and everything. Um, but yeah, I talked a lot about these. Callan, Callan. Yeah, it's Callan, right? Yeah, Callan. I kept writing Corbin. Oops. The chapters of the sister. Yeah, I feel like they're going to be important in later books, but it felt kind of unnecessary. That's why I didn't buy the romance she had. It was a tool to get her out of town. I think that's what it was. I think that's what it was. I did not care, but I did not actually enjoy her chapters. Maybe because she was the only female I was like attached to or I cared about or that we actually read from. Um, and I kind of see her as well, like K- uh, Kylan. Kylan, what's the name of the sister in Malice? Like, she seems like a little bit innocent or whatever, but at the end she turns into a badass. So I think that she's gonna have a way bigger role and she's gonna have a huge impact on the story later on. I liked her, and if I'm not wrong and not mixing up everything, the last chapter was about her, right, with her dog on the boat, right? Or am I mixing up with something else? Um, so I feel like now it's gonna start. I actually really like the sister chapters. I did like the sister. Um, I I I feel like maybe it just like helped us getting to know her a little bit. So when we start the next book, we actually know a bit of her background. I don't think that any chapter had added anything to the story overall, but I felt like, as you said, it's going to become more and more important. And a little bit of romance, it's just like the age of the characters and everything that's happening and the way, like, it reminded me a little bit again, but that's like Malice, so that's like Norse mythology, or not Norse mythology, but Norse customs, and Norse villages, and mentality and way of living, etc. It reminded me a little bit of that. So yeah, I don't know. I liked her. The one moment of anxiety was the bed with the axe throwing. I had just read about a character betting way behind their means and losing it all in another book. So was, oh yeah, no, yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, they could have. I mean, it could have happened. Um, but yeah, so it was anxiety on your part, not especially anxiety within the book, because I did not. Did you feel like anxious because of the way it was written, or just because you were like, oh my god, that's gonna happen like in the other book, and in the other book it went to hell or whatever? I don't feel like it was like of course there was a little bit of stress and everything, but I don't think it was like depicted that way, or was it? I don't remember, but yeah, absolutely. Oh, and then Will is becoming part of the opposite team. Shocked Pikachu face, but not really. I wrote that. Um, with like when calendars that was Dan and wrist. Um, wait, where was it in my? I know exactly. I know I wrote bullies somewhere. Uh, Oh, I cannot remember where I wrote that. But I also used the word bullies. And I was just like, oh, predictable. Mm, yeah, I couldn't find it on my notes. But yeah, absolutely. It's usually, the thing is that, oh, my internet is really bad. I'm getting my new Wi-Fi on Thursday. I'm still using my portable one. What was I about to say? That's the thing. When it's predictable and it does happen, it kind of adds to the story that it actually made sense for it to happen. So it was like natural, fluid of some kind, but sometimes you want to be a little surprised. Here, I was just like, okay. Yeah, I expected it, but it wasn't that bad, I would say. I had a lot of anxiety because how it was written in the other book. So it gave me anxiety. Okay, so because I didn't feel like the anxiety in here, so I was wondering if you did. Because again, but you listened to the audiobook as well, right, Cleo? But who were your favorite characters? I feel like for me, it was the sister, weird enough, but also I had what's her name again? Uh, Valerians? I do. Oh, it's like that as well. Like it was so arrogant, not arrogant. When like so he touched the egg, something happened, blah blah blah, and then he learned new words in a new language, and I was just like, I don't know. I was just like, it makes sense. It is predictable. It absolutely fits, but I don't know what I was expecting. I was just like, okay, and that means eyes and whatever, and I was just like, yeah, it fits, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm conflicted about that book, honestly. That's why I'm giving it like a 3 stars because I conflicted. Nothing wrong with it, but nothing really surprised me. Oh, the drunk friends. What? Okay, what was the name? I cannot remember. The elf. Yeah, there were many characters though, but I still felt like you could tell them apart. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. Um, Also, there was one sentence I wrote from the book. Which one was it? Was it in the book? We must never dim our light so that others may shine. I like that one. What are the friends? Because they're what? What's the name of the other friend? I'm wondering because there were many. Mm, uh, what do you think about like the battle, like the battles that happen with like um, I mean, um, wait, where was it? Right? Do you mean wrist? I don't know. Again, like so many names, so many, and my issue was that I just pronounced different names in my head, so I was a bit like, Yes, Rest. Okay. Yeah. I liked Rest too. Um, yeah. Magician. Were you all expecting that many different things? Like the magician. I liked their point of view though. I like their point of view. I like their character when thinking about it now. But like I was not expecting when reading that book for some reason. I was not expecting at the beginning like giants and elves and all these. I was not expecting it. I don't know why. Was it in the synopsis? I cannot remember, but that again, I did not expect. But I kind of like it because when you have that many um, beings, creatures, races, etc., I feel like the chosen one trope kind of melts in the rest, if that makes sense. So I did not expect that, but yeah, me neither. It had a little more depth to it than I anticipated. Yeah, yeah, that's true. If you're talking about like the magician, yeah. I didn't read the synopsis. I don't remember the synopsis. That's it. But yeah, what did you think about like the little bit of battle scenes with like the magical creatures, with the beast, the thingies? I was like thoroughly like I enjoyed it. Not surprised. I don't feel like at any point I was really scared. That's the thing. I feel like I did not feel tense during that book, even when bad things happened. Um, but yeah, I did feel the tension within the conflict and the different sides. And, being like involved in something that's way bigger than you ever thought. I did feel that tension and then being like, what the hell? Why is it happening to me? How come it's happening to me? I didn't ask for it. Now, what should I do? Now you need to grow up. Now you need to face it. You should not be a baby about it and just do it. I did feel that, but I did not feel the tensions just as much string, you know. There was some stuff where it lost me, like something I kind of imagined, like Aladdin. Yeah, I can like I think that some parts where the author put just many things together. And it felt like a little bit. I felt a little bit lost, but I thought it was only me because of how I was reading it and what I was doing while listening to it. But yeah, I was definitely lost sometimes, and some sentences I would just be listening to it, and then I would be like, "Wait, what?" Okay, never mind, and then I would just move on, which would not have happened if I had read the book physically. So yeah, um, let me. Yeah, you were not invested. It makes sense. The fact that you were not invested does mean something about the book as well. But yeah, but like the thing is that, as you said, as you were not surprised, when you're surprised and captivated, whatever, you just like eat all the words and you just take in every piece of information because you never know. It can be like, oh, maybe there is some clue hiding in there or whatever. But when you're not surprised because it's so similar to other things, then you just like, some parts are just like you read them. Did you like how do you say that? Skip some parts or have you actually listened to everything or did you? It's hard to know how to skip when you actually listen to a book. Uh oh, I wrote when Dan was actually, you had Callan, Dan, Wrist. Um who was the other one there? I cannot remember, but I just wrote ha 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 Dan. fuck off dragon. There were parts where I actually like I was just like, oh, you got the balls to actually do that because it's a dragon. But yeah, uh, yeah. I also wrote that I was yeah, drunk then exactly. Uh, yeah, so traveling to the town, everything is gonna change from them. Etheria. I also have like as I listen to the I don't know how to write some of the names like Etheria or like you know so I just wrote as I thought to write it, but I don't know. I'm still very much intrigued about book two, so I really hope it's gonna be a good one. Um, what else? Just checking. Mm. Oh, also, yeah, I wrote always out of mischief. Yeah, that is true. That is really true. I wrote something about how so you have a main characters. We already have many names we need to remember, and then there are maybe months in between books if we don't read them one after the other, within the same series. So then after you need to remember some names or whatever. And the fact that at one point, apparently, I cannot remember who it was. I just wrote useless names. I don't know why. Um, I think it was at a market or whatever. And they were talking to someone and they bought something. Was it an apple? Was it a fruit? Was it? I cannot remember. And the merchant had a name, and I felt at the beginning I was like, why do we need to know the name of the Martian? Do we need to know the name, or do we just we're just being polite and asking for it, and then we gonna forget about it? Is that person coming back, whatever? So I feel like sometimes there were many information that were not what I would call like necessary. But at the same time, I liked having those informations because otherwise, maybe you would have wanted them, or maybe because they're going to be important, or maybe because of that. So there is a lot of editing in that book, like deleting all many description and the woke talk, etc., etc. But there are still other things. I'm just like, oh, why is it there? Like, nothing wrong with it, but I was just like, I don't know. That's nothing. Lakos has a character called Sarah, and her daughter is Zara. The other was, oh no. Do you say Sarah, Sarah, and Zara? Zara. Oh my gosh. That is really complicated. Yeah, that's not helpful. Absolutely not helpful. Okay. That's way worse. Um uh Also, I felt like so the beginning was as we all talked about already, blah blah blah. That's horrible, right? I still need to read that book, so I might actually not listen to it. I have it on my TVR, but I felt like I cannot remember how many chapters we had in that, but I felt like maybe the last 20% or maybe 30% of the book, we got to that um, to a bit more of the politics and what was the other thing that I said? And the lore at the end of the book. And I felt like that might have uh, could have been included a bit earlier in the book. But I just like if I had to complain about something. Um, because I think that lore and politics are really things I gravitate towards. Like I love it. I love when it's included in books, because I feel like it adds so many more challenges, and also like brain games, etc., etc., manipulation, seductions, whatever, however you want to call it. Um, so I wish it was included at the beginning, but at the same time, it does make sense because you get into the story, then something happened, and you get involved in something, even though you didn't want to get involved, and blah blah. And the more you go like deeper and deeper and deeper, the more you realize what's going on. So at the end, it is actually politics, and you need to understand it, and you need to learn it, and you need to find a way to survive, and you need to find a way to actually deal with it, and get the rules of it, etc., etc. So yeah. I just said a lot of things, but yeah, I don't know if you felt the same or not regarding that. um, Uh, Let me check. I had other things as well. But yeah, I felt like, sorry if you can hear the plane. I opened the window, but it's being very rude, and my internet is not that strong here. Uh, I did not restore the modem. I hope you can still hear me and see me. Can you? I don't know. Please confirm if you can still see me and hear me. Um, duh, 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 duh. Okay. Okay, perfect. Thank you. But yeah, what is there something else you would like to add to it, or we can maybe go through the just the co system? Perfect. Thanks. Let me maybe share my screen because we got one answer. Uh, Poof, that's big. That is big. Yep. Yeah, better, better. Um, Let me. Okay. So, what it was it your first time reading this book? I think it was everyone's first time. In what format have you read the book? A mix. So you did read and listen to the audiobook. I didn't know that. How did you read the book, Larissa? No worries. No worries. Um, I only listened to the audiobook, even though I bought the ebook. Okay, physical. Yeah, part of the ebook. Here we have, if you listen to the book, how would you rate the narrator? Yeah, I really enjoyed the narration. Did you finish the book yet? I don't think anyone here has yet left the book, as far as I'm aware of. So characters. Oh, I should maybe open my Cobalt system. Mm, oh my gosh, I'm so behind. Of blood. Oops. Of blood and fire. So for the characters, I would actually say it was like strong, but we got a 6 here. I think I would give it a 7 as well. Um, to be completely fair. What about the atmosphere? So we got another 6 here from Cleo. I think maybe a 6 for me. Nope. Nope. Okay, I will give it a 6 for the atmosphere. Yeah, 6 too. I'm not judging. Writing style, so we got an 8. Wow, that's pretty high compared to the 2 6s that you gave before. I would go with, I think, a 7. I felt like it was good, very engaging, made me finish the book fast. Oh, also 8. Maybe I'm too harsh. We shall see. It's a page turner, right? Absolutely. So maybe I'm harsh here. Maybe I should give it 8 as well. Okay, what about the plot? We got a 6 here. We got a 6. For the plot, I think I will go for a 6 as well because we had good tropes and everything. Peer pressure. Thank you from 6 years ago. For the profile picture, a 7. I will give it a 6 because so me intrigue. So we got a 7 here. I would actually give it a 5. I might be like really harsh here, just because I like I was very intrigued, but I was not intrigued the same way than when it's like, you don't know what's gonna happen or you have no idea what's gonna happen, etc. Does it make sense? I just felt like there was not enough surprise for me. I had intrigue. I just didn't lead anywhere in the end. Yeah. So it was annoying intrigue. Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, I will give it a 5 just because like it made sense. Nothing wrong with it, but I didn't feel like the feels. I don't know if that makes any sense, but yep. For the logic, you got a 9. I think that logic, everything was real logic in this. So I would probably go with an 8. I think. Um, Wait. Yeah, I would probably go with the 8. It was predictable, so I changed it to anticipation and with the 7. Make sense? Absolutely. Absolutely. And what about logic for you, Larissa? Logic is a 9. Yeah. It was very logical, right? Absolutely. Um, Enjoyment, we got an 8. And I think I'm going to give it an 8 as well. And so that gives you a 3 stars. And I was right. So here it gives me a 3.5 stars. So my Copel says, ooh, 9. Yeah. So for me, it's gonna be like 3.5. As I said at the beginning, that's how I felt about that book. Okay, so the very anonymous note here. I had very wrong expectations going into this. For some reason, I assumed this would be super dense, would have difficult language, would move at a crawl. However, none of that was the case. It quickly became clear that this has a type of writing that gets me flying through a book. I think we all agreed on that. So, how did this end up as a 3 stars? I felt so complete throughout to keep honoring the pace and continue the story. However, when turning that last page, I was left feeling tricked. Was that it? I think this book does traditional epic fantasy really well. However, there is nothing about it that excites me. I feel like very much the same. Like I enjoyed it. It was the definition of classic fantasy with like a little bit of modern touch because of the author's touch and way of doing things. But yeah, the characters seen then 20 times before, the plot, no real surprises, the world building, nothing new, the themes, none that ever made me interested in what the author was exploring, cultural work, same old, character development, same. It sounds a bit harsh when written, but I think I agree with you. I agree with you. Nothing in this book was extraordinary, so I just left with an enjoyable read. Will definitely read book two. Nothing wrong with that. It just doesn't make it to a high rating for me. I think you just summarized overall how I even feel about this book. I enjoyed this book. I had a fun time listening to it. I love the relationship with the characters. I love what happened. I love the twist and the plus and everything. I was just not excited about that because I was not surprised and I was not shocked and I was not like so scared for all of them and anxious and at the edge of my seat and things like that. So that's why it's not a higher rating for me either. I loved it, but I was not like if you're a heavy adult epic fantasy reader, that might not be the book I would recommend. But if you are a newbie or someone who feels intimidated by epic fantasy, etc., I would definitely recommend that one. Um, because it felt like very easy. I would maybe recommend that one over Malice, not because I prefer it to Malice, like Malice is on top of the top of the top, but just because it feels a bit more approachable. So, crap, I agree with all of that. No, I have no. You don't have to change your rating. It's absolutely fine. You felt that way, and maybe it's going to change with the other book. Um, and also everything is subjective. So you don't have to change your rating. Absolutely not. Um, yeah, but yeah, definitely a good one to pick up for someone new to the genre. I think that's it. That's why it was so hyped because I feel like you have the epic classic fantasy readers who don't always mind reading about like how they walk, the color of the grass, and things like that, like the very slow pacing because it goes with epic fantasy. But then you have the people who are intimidated by it, who don't pick up, those kind of like fantasy books, and would pick up that one and be like, oh my gosh, I actually love epic fantasy just because there are so many different writing styles there. And I feel like the author did an actually great, amazing job at making epic fantasy approachable and readable for as many people as possible. And there is no way you can get bored, I would say, reading that book in a way that if you have not read like the classics like Aragon, Lord of the Rings, like I mean, Malice is not a classic, but these books, etc., you will be surprised by things that are happening in this book. I think that someone who is entirely new to the genre will be surprised and will be at the edge of their seat and will feel like so angry and so sad and so excited and so scared and anxious and everything. Um, it just like depends on what kind of reader you are to begin with. So yeah, I don't know if you agree with that, but I think that's how I would like wrap up my feeling regarding this book. So yeah, yeah, we need Barbara's opinion when she finishes because I think she was struggling a bit more. Oh, she was, yeah, yeah. I wonder, is she like a epic fantasy reader? Now I'm trying to think if she has read like Malice. I don't know, but things like that, Aragon and things. I don't know. I honestly don't know, but yeah, yeah, we should ask her. Um, Let me go on the Discord. Oh, Discord doesn't want to open. I have also not read Malice. Honestly, Malice is one of the best ever, and I'm gonna die on that hill. Um, so I have not filmed the video. Obviously, you all know that, but I have shared the books that we'll be reading next. So for July, so now, the book we are reading is The Wolf by Leo Carew. I will put it here in the chat in case anyone is interested in that. And the live show for that one will be on the 5th of August. So that gives us 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks to actually finish it. She hasn't read Aragon because she talked about it in her TBR video. See? Yeah. I love Malice, and thank you for remembering of that. Malice is one of the best, and I want to reread that series at some point. It's here. I need to rearrange the shelves here. Also excited. I'm excited for all the books. I'm passing the July book. Pass as many as you want to. No worries. I will be. I will try to hype the book so you actually get it. But yeah, I think that's it. I don't know if you have anything else you would like to add to the conversation regarding the book, but I'm excited about the wolf for the wolf. I so we already have a date, so the 5th of August should be fine. Um, why, Cleo? Why? Just because it's summer, very busy month. Um, I want to know, is it because you're not interested in the book, or is it because of something else? Oh yeah, so the 3 packages that I'm missing from my couch are arriving tomorrow morning. So that is nice. It's not on my radar, and have too much that is on my radar instead. Yeah, fair, absolutely fair, absolutely fair. But yeah, and like I don't know if you have seen all the other books, but yeah. So the Wolf for July, Justice of Kings for August, and then in September we read the Bone Shard Emperor, so the second one in the Drowning Empire series. In October, the Library of the Dead. I'm so excited for that one. November, the Luminous Dead. Also very excited about that one. And December, we finishing the Drowning Empire series with the third book in the series, so the Bone Shard War. So that's the program for the second half of the year. I will give all the dates online when I know them. But usually it's the first Saturday of the month, except now, which is a Monday because I'm off. Um, but yeah, I think that's it. Have I said everything, or do I need to say anything else? Um, I don't think so. The Discord is linked down below if anyone is not on the Discord yet. And yeah, that's pretty much it, I think. I'm gonna go take care of my head and eat something and clean a little bit, and then going to the house and come back here tomorrow morning. Um, but yeah, hope you're good, Wolf. thank you so much for hanging out a little bit with me and for talking about the book with me. I hope you enjoyed this short live show. I mean, 1 hour is fine for a live show. But yeah, I feel like I'm missing something, but I don't know what else I should add. So I think I'm okay. Um, I think that's it. Thanks for the chat. Bye. Okay. So I don't need to add anything else, I feel. But yeah, thank you for the chat. Thank you for everything. I'll talk to you super soon. And yeah, till then, take care and bye bye.